Fairy tales are timeless stories that have been told for generations. They are magical, transformative tales that teach us about life, love, and the hero's journey. Fairy tales offer us a glimpse into the human soul, where good battles evil and where dreams and wishes come alive. In our modern lives, fairy tales reminds us of hope and courage. They help us make sense of the world and the challenges we face, offering wisdom and inspiration. Today I'm sharing the beautiful Kate Forsyth's Fairytale Oracle, a deck that blends the magic of fairy tales with the power of divination. This deck brings classic stories to life, each card brimming with rich symbolism and deep meanings. So let's dive in and explore how these enchanting tales can guide us on our own journey. Help me ducks, welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. It's Simon here, hope we're all doing okay. It's Sunday afternoon, it's late afternoon actually. It's my last day off after 2 weeks, well 16 days, which has been amazing. And yeah, I've just had a bit of a lazy day. I've potted around town, done a bit of tidying up, and then I thought I would jump on now, and forgive my fingers as well. That's because, as well as pottering around today, I've been edging a deck. I've edged I'm going to be working with the archetypes deck, and I edged them today, about 20 minutes ago. And that's going to be my oracle for the month of June. And so I've still got a little bit of black on my fingers. But anyway, we're here today to look at a little bit more closely than the spotlight last weekend at Kate Forsyth's Fairytale Oracle, which is illustrated by Merle Hunt. And this deck is beautiful from start to finish. From the packaging, from the quality of the cards, the images, everything is just wonderful. This is in a linen box. It feels really nice. It's got gold stamping on it. It's by Rockpool, and they have been producing some really, really lovely decks of late. On the back, it says, find your way through the dark forest of life. In this beautiful oracle, best-selling novelist and fairy tale expert Kate Forsyth explores 11 of the world's most powerful fairy tales. These ancient narratives of good and evil, joy and sorrow, and struggle and triumph are like a trail of white stones through the dark, thorny forest of life, showing the way forward and giving hope. Not merely stories, fairy tales explore the real and difficult human dilemmas, warn us of danger, and give us the tools we need to overcome those hazards. Discover how to turn to these tales for guidance with the help of this deck. If we are brave enough and strong enough, we can outwit the ogres that seek to entrap us. So yeah, and it's, I remember when I looked at this, I haven't lit any incense. I knew something wasn't feeling quite right. I've got a couple of sticks here, so a couple of sticks it will be. Yeah, I remember when we took a look at this last week, Cheryl and I, and there was a lot of repetition. But because there's 11 fairy tales, there's obviously more than 11 cards. So you almost, I think it's 4 cards per fairy tale from memory. and you see the journey of the fairy tale in the cards. Fairy tales are stories in which the sufferings at last comes to an end. Yeah, they all live happily ever after. Got a little book, beautiful full page colour illustrations. You get the fairy tale. So here we have Hansel and Gretel. The part of that story is where she's with the dove, he's with the fox. We get a keyword, which is guidance. And then we get a dark face and a bright face, so the light and shadow aspects. And then we get a write-up about the card and then a meaning for the card as well. Interestingly, you get a little bit about, so you get the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Here's the next one, the next set. So Little Red Riding Hood, you get the story, and then you get the 4 stages here. We've got a salamander look on the red cloak. So you get the red hood, you get the crossroads, you get grandmother, key character in Little Red Riding Hood, and then I'd imagine we get the wolf, do we? Yeah, the wolf. Okay, so I think it's 4. Is that it? Yes, then we get the story of wild swans. I love this book. This book, you know, we don't often see that. When we see fairy tale decks, we might get an odd card. But to actually get the story as well, so Cinderella, Rags and Ashes, Fairy Godmother, Midnight Clock, and then the Glass Slipper. So the 4 main components of each fairy tale. I'd imagine there's spreads and things in here that you can do as well. It's beautifully illustrated. Yeah, we go from how to use the card introduction, how to use the cards, the fairy tale oracle cards, and then we go through each of the stories. So the 11 fairy tales that are within this deck are Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Bluebeard, Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood, Wild Swans, Rumpelstiltskin, and Snow White. The only story I don't know is Wild Swans. I don't know about that one, so I'll have a read of that later. So, lovely little book. Cards are beautiful. Look at the box as well. Isn't that a gorgeous box? It opens like a book. Beautiful red ribbon, red inside, and then this gold design. And it almost felt like an extra card, but the backs are in a similar design. Instead of white on gold, you've got gold on white here. So that's the packaging and the book. Let's bring the camera down and we'll take a look closer at the cards. So in terms of cardstock, they are linen, a nice linen finish. Hopefully that's picking up. Matte, really nice. The backs are beautiful, really beautiful backs. As I said, it's this gold, like a matte gold on a creamy white, which is really, really lovely. In terms of card size, they are bigger and wider. The proper oracle size really, but in terms of a standard RWS, you can see the size difference there. Okay, so we will go through, and you can see on the card we have this panel at the bottom, which is in keeping with the design on the back, as you can see. And we get the name of the fairy tale. So Rapunzel, there's her tower. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your long hair. One, it says, so card number 1, Stolen Herb, Desire. And then we have the tower. So she's now in the tower, looking out of the window. She's trapped. Liberation. And then Rapunzel, Ladder of Hair. spiritual ascension. The artwork is beautiful. And then healing tears, cathartic release. We have Sleeping Beauty and the spinning wheel. The deep sleep. The hedge of thorns that grew up over those 100 years. The eye peeping through. And then the kiss. Integration, the kiss that waits her. Cinderella. Rags and ashes. Injustice. Fairy godmother, assistance. This is beautiful. Midnight clock, time flies. And the glass slipper, recognition. Isn't that a perfect keyword? Such beautiful images. Beauty and the Beast. Rose. Love is worth the risk. The Beast. Compassion. I think this was my favourite Ladybird book when I was a kid, Beauty and the Beast. Either that or the Magic Porridge Pot. The Magic Ring. Consistency. And then consent, the power to choose. Look at those beautiful deep colours. Absolutely stunning, especially the purple and the pinks. Oh. The Little Mermaid. See, listen to your unconscious. Sun, bright. Bog, threshold. Dagger sees the world. And then we have Bluebeard, face your shadow. Bloody Key, unlocking. Forbidden Chamber, disobedience. And Rescue, save yourself. Hansel and Gretel, oh that's a gorgeous card. So beautiful, going into the woods, look. The Gingerbread House, sustenance for body and soul. The Wicked Witch, malevolence. And Dove, guidance. And then Little Red Riding Hood, the Red Hood. Crossroads, choose your way. Grandmother, ancient wisdom. Look at her face. You can really see the wisdom in that expression. And then we have the owl there as well for wisdom as well. A little toad and a salamander. This is such a beautiful deck. Then we have Wolf, don't be afraid of your wild side. Yeah, this is the only story I'm not familiar with, Wild Swans. So I'm going to read that. We have Swan, which is creative inspiration. Nettle. Resolutely face your difficulties. Silence, time to keep silent and a time to speak. Oh dear. Flame, regeneration. Rumpelstiltskin, that was one of my favourites as well. Trying to guess his name. Spinning straw, impossible task. Trying to spin it into gold. Imp, embrace your inner wild child. Riddle, be open to possibilities. And true name, know yourself. You better know yourself. we have Snow White, White as Snow transition, magic mirror on the wall, self-reflection, goes without saying I suppose, apple, knowledge, ooh, that's very biblical, and the glass coffin, rebirth. Look at this bear. Beautiful deck. I really, really like this. It's gilded as well. I never mentioned that, did I? So, I mean, the quality of this deck is fantastic. The artwork is absolutely stunning. And I kind of like the fact that there is kind of time frames for kind of main parts of the story illustrated in the cards. It's not just one, you know, it's not just 44 cards each from a different fairy tale. I find with some of those decks there are invariably fairy tales I've never heard of, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's good to hear about other fairy tales from around the world, but with the exception of White Swans, these are all very familiar to me from my childhood. Yeah, and I think it's the whole production of this deck is top notch. It's superb. I really long for, and I guess it's due to copyright, but you know, the 1960s, 70s, easy to read Ladybird books. I wish that they were made into a fairy tale deck using the same artwork, because wow, those images are imprinted on my brain. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Kate Forsyth's Fairytale Oracle. And I'm gonna have a read of White Swans now, and yeah, have a look at it and see if it is a story that I did know and have forgotten, or if it's one that just passed me by in my childhood. But anyway, thanks for watching everyone, and until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.